Welcome to the Dirty Heifers podcast. Soap making, small business, and so much more. Let's get dirty. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Dirty Heifers, the podcast where we talk soap, small biz, and all the sudsy stuff in between. I'm your host, Margaret, and I'm here with my favorite co-hosts, Jessie from Country Lathers Soapworks, who brings the southern sass and sparkle, and Shauna, the creative genius with a label maker in one hand and a stethoscope in the other. Tonight's episode is extra special. We're diving into the world of giving back, one bar of soap at a time. Our guest is none other than Kitty from Dichotomy Creations. Wow. Kitty makes handmade soaps with a twist and proudly lives by the motto, embrace your weird. She's here to talk to us about the Soap Donation Center, a nonprofit that collects and distributes soap to people in need. We're going to learn about how it works, why it matters, and how you, yes you, listening, can be part of something beautiful and bizarre just like us. But first, it's time for our favorite segment, the Word of the Week, where Jessie gives us our best guess and maybe a new southernism or two.
Let me look.
We've got this. Maybe, Shauna, you want to spell that out?
All right, so the word is spelled Altruism. And just by the look on Jessie's face, she's...
This is going to be good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can say it, but I ain't got a flipping clue what it is. Altruism?
Yes. Altruism. Would you like a sentence?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Kitty's act of altruism was fully realized when she mailed 350 bars of soap in a rainbow unicorn wrapping paper to a shelter while dressed as the plague. Because why not?
Does it mean you're high?
It does not mean
an
that
act
you're
of
high.
altruism in your eye? No.
I mean...
Deep thoughts.
I don't even know where to start on that one. I mean...
We forgot the... Oh, no, I don't have it.
We still don't have Jeopardy music?
You know what? I think Jeopardy music would be trademarked. So what I've been playing is like a countdown, like a tick.
Oh, yeah. I
But
saw
I've been
that.
adding that afterwards.
Yeah. Altruism. Or is it altruism?
Either way.
Both.
It's not like
Something
pecan.
is inherently and something that is incredibly true, but is what's in my head. But given that used in a sentence like that, all I can think is just somebody's incredibly high to do something like
I
that.
would have to be to pack soap.
Yeah, I mean,
or anything.
Well, I was.
Kitty putting anything in rainbow anything, she would have to be on something.
So my sentence really
good.
messed you up. What if I just said Kitty's act of altruism was fully realized when she mailed 350 bars of soap to people in need?
Like an act of charity?
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
I messed you up with the whole rest of the sentence.
Yeah, you definitely did. I mean, I was screwed up from the floor up.
Selfless concern for the well-being of others.
It's like when you
Gotcha.
take those tests in school and they throw something weird in the sentence to throw you off, and you get hung up on it. That's what.
Or
she
you
just
got
did
those
to you.
multiple choice and you got two of them that are really close but just off the wall.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Fun
yes.
fact: we are not allowed to use the double negative ones in medical tests, like for our board exams. They can't do that, or at least in the anesthesia board exams. You know, when they would say, which of these 4 things are not blah 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 whatever,
Right.
just to mess with you, because you
Interesting.
read the sentence and then you miss the not, and then you look for what's true, and like 3 of them are true, and you're confused.
I take your word for
So
it.
do we have a Southernism this week?
I got a whole list of them. I'm just trying to figure out which one to use. Now for a lot of these y'all already know. And
But our listeners might not.
That's true.
Yeah, I've just been so caught picking busy this week. Busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest.
That would be a Southernism right there.
All right. Here we go. Southernism. Well, no, this is a word. Mom and them.
I think we did Mom and him.
Nope.
No, we haven't done it, but we've heard it before.
Would
I've
you
said
like
it
me
before.
to use it in a sentence?
Yes, please.
Okay, I know Kitty said it before.
A lot.
So, how's your mom and them? They went to the chiropractor last week.
It's like, how you doing? Or how are they doing?
How's your mom? How's your family, basically?
But how's your family? Mom and them is you and your family.
Mom and them.
Oh, right then.
I got to do some research to get some better ones.
Yeah, you got to get some good ones. So, Kitty,
So,
tell us first. Let's tell us about Dichotomy Creations. What inspired your brand and your delightfully weird aesthetic?
Okay, so years ago, many years ago, before I ever joined the Navy, so this was probably like 25 years ago, I had somebody describe me as my own dichotomy, and I had no idea what it meant, so I had to look it up. And it's the single most accurate way anybody has ever described me in my entire life. So basically, it's, in a nutshell, it means a contradiction. So I am my own contradiction. I grew up in Texas. I grew up with country roots. I wasn't on like a farm or nothing, or a homestead or nothing like that. But I wasn't in the big city either. But my favorite places to hang out have always been cemeteries. So, like, I've always been like the person on either end of the spectrum. There's not really any in the middle for me. And so I really wanted to bring that to Dichotomy Creations. And ironically enough, I did not realize that I had a creative bone in my body until I started making soap and started exploring into all the serial killers, and decided that I was going to make the serial killer lines. And my brain has just exploded with all these ideas, and I'm having so much fun with it.
I was going to say, explain how serial killers what does that have to do with soap? Because that's not what comes to mind to our listeners.
They get dirty too, Margaret.
They do.
Well, that's true.
They do.
I mean, if they are serial killers, they really need to wash because they get nasty.
Yeah. They got to get it under the nails too, because
That's true.
That's where they catch you.
They need a good exfoliant.
Yeah. So I actually have one here. My first one that I made was Breakfast at Jeff's, and the way that I do it is I do a lot of research into the specific serial killer, but I focus the story, because I tell the story when I'm making the soap in the videos and everything, but I focus the story on one of their victims. So for Breakfast at Jeff's, the story was focused on Stephen Hicks, who was actually his first victim. And with Breakfast at Jeff's, I made every aspect of the soap reflect to the story. And then when somebody buys a bar of this soap, 10% of the profits go to Season of Justice, which is another charity that funds smaller governments, smaller police departments that can't afford like DNA testing and things like that. Helps them get rape kits through, get the DNA testing through. Familial DNA is getting really big now, so it helps with getting some of that done. Profiling, things like that, to help them bring closure to families that are victims of crime.
Wow, that was amazing. I didn't even know you did that.
I didn't either.
It gives them better reach to resources that they need to solve these crimes.
That's fantastic.
So really,
That's
your
awesome.
serial killer line focuses more on the victims than
It
than the
does.
killers themselves,
It does.
which is awesome.
That's awesome.
a nice twist to it. I really like that. I like that
Thank
a
you.
lot.
But the twist of that one is that it's scented in crap and crunch berries because Jeffrey Dahmer liked to crunch on little boys' berries. Jesse's face.
Oh my god!
I'm speechless on that.
You got me speechless, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
I thought just because you're just saying breakfast is like because he liked to eat Captain Crunch.
I thought she was going to go with he was a big cereal fan. But I thought,
Serial killer. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've
Whoa.
got a reason for each
that's
scent
dark.
for each serial killer.
So how much time do you spend researching
I
for
spent
any
months.
one particular soap, like just on each soap? And how many
For
different
Jeff, I
serial
spent
killer
months.
soaps?
I watched a lot of the documentaries. I follow several people on TikTok. There's one lady in particular. Don't ask me her name. I can't think of it right now. But she's a psychologist, and she talks about the psychology behind a lot of the serial killers. And so I've done a lot of following with her, reading on books. I've got several books, and lots of internet search. So it was probably 6 months worth of research before I was ready to make and tell the story for Jeff.
That's a lot of research for one
So
soap.
It is, but I am fascinated with it. So I would end up doing all of this anyway, even if I wasn't making a soap for it.
Oh, I can imagine.
I was just going to say, a lot of soap makers, they make soap as kind of like a release, kind of like a way to get away, and just kind of like an extra little hobby that get away from the world, just for a little bit. So it sounds like to me that this research that you put into these serial killers, that's kind of like your little out, part of your process. Like that's just as much therapy as actually making the soap.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I would be doing that research anyway, just because it all fascinates me.
It's interesting.
Yeah, you
I
were
find
just
myself
able to tie it in.
Yeah, on serial killer TikTok quite often.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not memorizing everything and making. How many serial killer soaps do you have right now?
So far, I just have Jeff. I have everything planned out, and I have the research done. I just need to figure out how to tell the story. And I'm kind of getting in my own head with this one because it's my first time making a cold process transparent soap. And I just need to get out of my own way and do it.
So you're looking to make like a glycerin soap?
It's a cold process transparent soap that is ready to use right away. Very similar. So it's not a cold process. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's more like a hot process. But it's a hot process transparent soap that once it sets, you're ready to use immediately. There's no cure time needed.
I
So
saw
it almost
an
sounds
article
like you're making melt and pour.
Yeah.
Like you're making melt and pour from scratch, sounds like.
It's very similar, but you can't melt it back down and reuse it. So like you got to use it when you make it.
So it's a true soap and not a soap base when you get done.
I am making it from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, but a lot of people, they will make their own soap bases for melt and pour.
Yeah.
So, but when this is done, this is actually, and I hate to put it this way, but it's really the only way you can do it. It's a true soap and not a soap base when you get done with it.
Right.
It's not something for future projects.
Right.
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 It is the finished project.
Interesting.
Product.
So,
And if you're
can
interested
you say
in
who it features?
Huh?
Can you say who it features?
I was just going to say, if you're interested, look up Wayne Ford. So the next one is going to be Breakfast at Wayne's. He was a truck driver in California. And it's going to be scented in a blueberry. Jessie's face.
Blueberry.
We
Yeah.
actually watched a documentary a few years ago that was talking about the prevalence within, which it sounds terrible, but like within cross-country trucking
Mm-hmm.
crime and such. Because they're on the move all the time, it's really hard to pin them down. And
Yeah, he wasn't.
Excuse me for
He
just a
wasn't a
second.
very prolific killer, and they actually called him the killer with a conscience because he turned himself in
Yeah, I just saw that.
after like 3 or 4 victims, I think. So, but it's
Margaret, are you already
actually a
looking
really funny
Of
story.
course, I'm already looking him up. He's called the Remorseful Serial Killer.
Yeah.
So, Kitty,
something like that.
obviously, you knowing, your dichotomy and how you are, on both ends of everywhere, is that where Embrace Your Weird came from?
Embrace Your Weird came in when I was building my website, and I put those 2 pictures up side by side because I felt like that really represented what you were going to find on my website. Like, you've got these natural handmade bath and body products, but some of them are a little creepy, and it was the only thing that came to mind. And so I typed it in there, and I was like, you know what? We're going with it. I like it.
All right.
Everybody's a little weird. If you're
I
not
like it
weird,
too.
you're boring.
Exactly.
you're kind of Wednesday Addams over there, though.
I have been called that many times.
You're like our little Wednesday Addams.
I
Have
take
you?
that as a compliment.
If you're not, everybody's weird in some way. If they're not weird, they're probably a serial killer.
Well,
Yeah.
what I like, what I enjoy is like you're not just like the whole horror niche. It's not like gore, and it's intrigue and mystery and giving back, and like there's just it's so niche down.
And how she ties it all in together.
Yes,
Thanks,
every
guys.
aspect. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we went to the conference this year, one of Kitty's soaps was in the contest for her packaging. So
That was the Jeff soap.
obviously people can't see your right. That was the Jeff soap, and it had so many things to like. I've never seen anything like that kind of packaging before. Maybe you can describe that to the people who are
so-
listening.
She's got it.
Yeah.
With the soap, I topped. This one's not a good one to show you.
But there were all these little, they were like things to pull out, and they're an entire
I top
story
all of
written
my
down.
soaps with bones. I have a bunch of skeleton molds, and so I'll make bone embeds out of soap. And then when you get the soap, there's this little flap right here. Whoop, get it on screen. There's this little flap right here, and when you pull it out, it goes through the entire story that I tell on my TikTok video. And you get a little sticker that is a newspaper clipping of the serial killer. And they're actual
The
newspaper
details are
clippings
just
that
unbelievable.
were published when they were going through and doing the investigation or going through trial or whatnot, whatever.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. The amount of detail
That's not
and thought
something you
that's
just
put
wrap
into-
up in a hurry.
No.
There's a lot of thought. A hurry.
You
There are a
know,
lot of thoughts went into that.
have you thought about going and tossing your name into advertise on like true crime podcasts? Just
I
the
have
fact
thought
that you
about
give
reaching
back.
out to Ashley and Britt on Crime
Those are
Junkie
my favorites.
because they're
Yeah.
the ones that I've done more listening to their podcasts. They're one of the ones that I got a lot of information from as well. And Season of Justice is Ashley's baby. And so I've actually thought about reaching out to them and saying, you know, hey, when I sell these bars, 10% goes to your to Season of Justice. You know, can we do like a collaboration type thing?
Yes, have them shout it out, because they have so many people who listen to them, and the fact that it's giving to their organization.
I want to wait until I have a couple more soaps in the line done. I've got about 14, I think, that I want to do total. So I want to get a couple more of them done before I reach out to them.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would think also if you sent them like a package with them in there, then they could actually, you know, put their hands on it and talk about it better than just say, hey, there's this person out there making a soap for auxiliary colors and a donut, you know. Those little packages go a little further, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the donation center. What is it and how did you get involved?
Soap Donation Center is the brainchild of Carrie Mixon. She's been a speaker at quite a few of the HSCG events or conferences. And she was actually the person that I took all of my soap classes from. And so she's a third generation soap maker in her family. And so she's got gobs of experience. She's also got a degree in chemistry. So she's like, she understands and knows all the science behind it. When I took the classes with her, she had like these little molecule, almost like Lincoln logs. And she put them together to show us how the lipids and the lye and everything reacts and how the bonds come together. And it was so fascinating to me. But she created Soap Donation Center in 2022. And Soap Donation Center received its 501c3 in 2023. So they were operating prior to that, but not as a 501c3. And recently, I became a member of the board in this past October, after the secretary that they had been in a horrible automobile accident and was no longer, she's okay. But she was no longer able to continue with her duties as secretary. So I stepped in to help out. But I was a volunteer before that. And what Soap Donation Center does is we collect handmade soap. We prefer that it's wrapped and labeled. It doesn't have to be. But we collect handmade soap and we distribute it to, we verify and vet all of these people that request soap. So we send this to charities and organizations and individuals in need. But all of these soaps stay within the borders of the United States. And that's why we want soaps that have the labels on them, preferably, because one, if anybody has any skin allergies, they're going to know, okay, I shouldn't use this particular bar. Or what, you know, if they have problems with fragrance, you know, hey, it's got fragrance in it, I shouldn't use it. But also it's so that if these people, when they get back on their feet, they're going to remember, hey, I had some really amazing soap. I've never had soap like that before. And hopefully they become a longtime loyal customer for whoever it is that donated.
Okay. So for people who are not familiar with the process, how does it work from start to finish?
For the donation or the requests? Like, are you asking about if you want to donate something to us, or if somebody wants to receive soap from us?
Give me both.
Okay. So if you go onto our website at soapdonation.org, there is a tab for donate, and you can click on that, And there's for donate soap, donate time, or donate money. If you go to donate money, it's going to send you to a link where you can donate through PayPal or with your credit card, debit card, however you want to do it. Donate time. It pulls up some information about volunteering with us, which we are desperately in need of volunteers, particularly people that are good with admin. We need help with admin right now. And then there's a section for donate soap. And when you donate soap, it'll pop up a form. You fill that form out, stick it in the box with your soaps, and you ship it off. Save your receipt for shipping because that is tax deductible. And everything that you donate to us soap-wise is also tax deductible. And you set the price for your soap. So actually, Jessie just recently went through this with us. She donated quite a few bars of her lavender soap, and it smells so good. My room still smells like lavender from her soap. I've still got it. But yeah, it was fairly. Would you say it was a fairly easy process for donating?
It was super easy. I mean, the forms were straightforward. You filled everything in. I don't think I wrapped it. I think it was just bare bars because it was a batch that didn't turn out good for my labeling to actually, sell to my customers. So I was like, well, I'll reach out to Kitty and we'll see if we can help some folks with this because I don't want it sitting here. I sent it bare and I thought but the form, I mean, you just write down, you put your ingredients on it. That way that the folks that receive the soap, they know what's in it. So that way they can distribute it according to, folks who's got allergies and such. It's really easy. It's not a difficult process. And it goes towards a really good cause.
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, the shipping and the soap is all tax deductible. If you put it in a box that is not a UPS flat rate box, save the receipt for buying your box because that's tax deductible too. The whole bit of it is because Soap Donation Center is a 501c3.
Is there a minimum that you recommend?
We'll take anything.
Save up 5 pounds. Wait until you have. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how about this? You said before there's a place for donating time and you're looking for admin. Is that something that can be done remotely anywhere in the country? Is it someplace, do you have to be,
Absolutely.
A lot of
it can be done anywhere.
Who are soap makers who would maybe like to donate some of their time.
We have, so Carrie and Susan, our other two board members, they are both in Southern California and I am in West Virginia. We meet regularly and everything we do is on Google Drive. So everybody has access to everything that we need to be able to do what we do. For the admin stuff, we really, really would love to get a hold of some people that are good with Google Docs. And then people that could help us out with emailing and following up with some of the people that have received soap from us, and just to get feedback because we get testimonials from them or pictures or quotes or things like that we can use for the website.
Okay.
And then we are also looking for a board member. We're looking for a treasurer. Right now I am wearing both hats, but we are really looking for a treasurer as well.
Okay. So people who are out there, if you're interested, if you're good with treasuring and or if you are also an organized heifer, please think about donating your time. And then also about as far as donating money, I saw a GoFundMe that you had on your Facebook page, and it said that $22 donation can send up to 350 bars of soap. How on earth is that even possible? How do you
it wasn't a GoFundMe. It was a link to our PayPal where you can donate to our PayPal.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So when we set up as a nonprofit, we got an arrangement with USPS where when we get our large flat rate boxes, it costs us $22 per box. So we stuff as many bars of soap as we can. And depending on the size of the bars, we get anywhere from, I think the smallest number of bars we've sent out in one of those boxes was 85. And the largest, I think, was 350 in one box.
Okay. So what kind of organizations do you partner with? Like who hits you up for a donation?
We have had requests from all kinds of different organizations. We've had churches. We've had homeless shelters. We've had domestic abuse shelters, women's shelters. We've had other small up and coming charities that are building their own platform. They take stuff to their local, as they called it, tent city, and just distribute to the homeless people there. We've had Wounded Warriors reach out. We've had ASYMCA reach out. We've had several military organizations have reached out. There's
I
just
was going to
so
ask
many.
if y'all helped out veterans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
awesome.
help anybody that we have the ability to help as long as they are in the United States.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Is there a particular story or experience that really made you realize how big of an impact that you're having? Like, is there, because you said you reach out to people afterwards and you want like stories.
Yeah, like that's one of the things we're struggling with is getting those testimonials in. And so we haven't really gotten a lot of those because we're all swamped with trying to go through the donations and the request forms and get the soap out that we don't really have a lot of time to follow up with everybody.
That's why they're needing help, y'all.
Right.
That's why they're needing help. Reach out if you can.
It would be amazing to be able to get more of those stories, but we're just, with it being just three of us.
Yeah, my next question was going to be...
It's hard to wear a lot of hats.
What's the biggest challenge that you guys are facing right now? And so one of your challenges is getting people...
Getting people to help, but also getting donations. So so far this year, we have sent out 2,222 bars valued at $24,787.88 to 8 states. And that shipping has cost us over $500. We are running out of soap and we are running out of money. Mm-hmm. We are running out of packing tape. We are running low on thermal labels, like the 4x6 thermal labels. These are all things that we desperately need, and getting the word out and getting those donations in is sometimes it's really easy and we get a ton of stuff. And then other times we're just like, it's crickets and we're not getting much. So I'm trying to post more on social media about it. But I'll admit I haven't been doing the best in the world, but we are working
I'm thinking,
towards all of
I was
that.
just going to say, what are the best ways? Yeah, the best ways for soap makers, crafters, and everyday folks to help. And I'm just going to say, like, that's probably just donate. Donate your time, donate your money,
spread the
donate
word.
your extra soaps. If you don't have the extra soap, then, $22 sends 350 bars of soap somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
And we're actually going to be
soap?
I'm sorry?
Can just listeners donate bars?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if they purchase bars.
Right, maybe I'm not a soap maker and I'm just listening to this podcast because it's, women in business and small businesses, and I'm feeling like this is a great cause. Maybe I can go pick up a couple bars of soap and just send them in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have had donations as small as like 2 bars of soap, and we've had donations as large as an 18-wheeler full of soap that was going to go to a landfill. So we take it all. We take it all. We take cold process, hot process, melt and pour. It doesn't matter. Soap is soap.
Okay.
So long as it's handmade, right?
We do prefer it to be handmade. We have had some donations of ivory soap. We're not going to turn it away.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I've had a lot of customers come through my booth at different events that they'll buy like a buttload of soap. If you're one of those customers that just likes to, and they'll try to wheel and deal, can I get a good price for this? If you're that type of customer, see if you let that vendor know, like, look, I'm going to make a donation to this cause, and chances are that business owner is going to cut you a deal to help you out to get more soap to those who needs it. That's a great call.
And you know what?
Even
that
if
would
you're
be
not a
awesome.
soap maker, you could do that.
Another thing, market season's coming up now. I mean, you could always have a thing at your booth say, hey, for this many dollars, you can donate 3 bars of soap to this cause, and have like a little basket off to the side.
Yeah, and I know when
I've
I
got
do
an event
markets
next week.
and when I do markets, I'm going to have a little like a little clear donation slot thing they can slide money in for Soap Donation Center.
Nice.
I would just say, though, that if you are a soap maker and you do that at the market, you have to probably keep good records, because you don't want to claim that you donated all this soap whenever someone paid you for the soap to donate. So just be careful.
Right.
Yes.
Stay legal,
Right.
people.
Yes, definitely stay legal.
Stay illegal.
But it's also
So what-
it's a way that you can donate without like losing a ton of money yourself if you wanted to.
Another way you can donate, if you are going to be at the Handcrafted Soap Makers Guild conference next month, or, well, I guess by the time this airs, it's going to be this month, in Reno, we are going to have a table there. We will be exhibitors. So we will have the opportunity for you to donate funds. You can, if you want to bring us soap, we will gladly accept it. If you want to bring us packing tape, thermal labels, if you want to just come up and ask us, hey, how can I help? I'm interested in volunteering. I'm interested in potentially being a board member. Myself and Carrie Mixon are going to be there. She's our board president. So you will be able to get any questions answered that you have there at the conference. And like I said, you'll have the ability to donate right there if you're interested.
Do you have an Amazon wish list for the group?
That's a very good idea. Yeah.
How about this? Can you give yourself a deadline and say that, yes, you do have an Amazon wish list, and then this way, by the time this airs, there will be one that we can have a link to?
Yeah, I can put it on. I was actually something I talked to the board about making a link tree for Soap Donation Center and having it on there.
Yeah. That would help y'all out on the thermal labels and the packing
The
tape and
Yeah.
all that kind of such.
All that kind of such.
Yep.
All that kind of such.
All right, so here's a little bit of weird stuff now. You ready? Okay, so what's the weirdest soap that you ever made, and would you donate it to the donation center?
The weirdest soap that I've ever made? You do know who you're asking that question to, right?
I know, that's why I'm asking, because if your soaps are weird, what do you consider to be your weirdest soap?
Y'all tell me to try to keep it clean.
Okay, what's the weirdest clean soap you've ever made?
Well, they're soap, so they're all clean.
Clean
So
themed soap.
my sister requested, so I make a soap called Twisted Core, and it's a scent and colors are based off of my sister's request. And for Christmas, she told me that she wanted a log of Twisted Core. So I made her 9 bar. I made her a loaf, and then I made her a log.
Okay, so what is Twisted Core?
Twisted Core is a custom blend of Macintosh apple and warm apples and peaches. So it's very apple, but it's got a little bit of that, just a little hint of that fall scent to it too. It's very, very nice. I really like it.
So what made that weird?
The log. Jessie's got it.
Why not? I've made cow patty soap.
Is
So
it a
would
log of like
would you donate
excrement?
that to the donation center? Probably. That sounds pretty tame. Would you donate?
Wait, hold on. Was it a log of excrement?
Like
Is that
floats on a
what-
pool.
No, it was a
Okay, that's
anatomically
All of our
correct,
minds went there.
6-inch member.
Oh!
It was
Okay.
the other kind of log.
Whoa. That was I wouldn't call that log.
I
wouldn't
never
call that
once in
wood.
my entire life
wouldn't
have
call
have heard anybody refer to that as a
neither.
log.
I would refer to
Maybe
it as
I
wood.
mean,
I was thinking.
So your sister requested
I was thinking
soap
on like
shaped
Jessie's
like a male
term.
anatomy.
No, she requested a log.
Your sister
And
requested
so
Peter
I
soap.
made her. I made her that
She
kind of log.
requested a log, and you made her Peter soap.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to say, medically speaking, do not insert soap in certain parts of your body.
Yes. And I made that perfectly and abundantly clear when she opened it. External use only.
There is a whole market out there.
Okay, so now back to my question is, would you donate this log to the Soap Donation Center?
I probably wouldn't.
I would say no.
because there's
Yeah,
a good
I
chance
would
it could wind up in
say-
children's hands.
Yeah.
Oh my
Twisted cord itself,
Jessie, are
yes.
you crying?
Log, no.
Oh
gone.
my gosh.
Are you crying, Jessie? There's no crying in soap making.
Yes, there is. We just had a whole conversation about this and how you need to put the tears on your ingredient list.
Yes, we need the INSEE values of tears.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh, Lord have
Soft soap
mercy.
then.
Jesus, fix it.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it
Oh
increase
my
hardness? I
gosh.
don't know. Oh, anyway, let's skip that. Anyway.
That's what she
Maybe
said.
if it's for my sister.
Did you just ding a bell yourself?
I did it.
Oh, I was going to say.
I knew that was going to get a that's what she said.
Okay. I thought
So I had
Jessie
my-
had a bell, and I was like, oh my gosh.
My ding ready.
She got her ding ready. We've gone off the rails again.
God, Jessie, you're killing me. I
We do
love
this at least once per episode. Actually, I think there's only one
Oh my
episode we haven't
gosh.
gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
just an awkward one.
if the soap donation center were a movie character,
Oh my gosh.
what movie would it? Who would it be and why?
Oh, God.
You gotta quit
Y'all gotta give
snorting.
me warning on these questions.
No, we
This
gotta
is
get
all
it
Margaret.
wrong.
This is all Margaret. Where is she getting this stuff from? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a problem. All I watch is horror and thriller and blood, guts, gore.
Okay.
And apparently something else, judging by the soap you were just talking about.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
That was my sister's request, remember?
We see what kind of relationship you have.
Oh, yeah, we're
Just out of curiosity, what was her reaction to that?
So I have a thing that I need to throw in here right now just for Megan and Mom. I'll explain later. They're gonna lose. Dang it! I was doing so good too.
Oh, it's okay. She can bleep you.
Yeah, so for a movie character, it'd probably have to be some kind of gushy, like I would think like a Lifetime character, Lifetime movie.
Who here watches
Character.
Lifetime movies?
Of course.
The rest of us don't.
Hello.
Hello.
No,
She
no.
is the corny one.
Like I would say Fight Club, but Fight Club's not even good.
I watched Lifetime movies and serial killers.
I mean, who has not made a reference to any of us about Fight Club, honestly, because of the soap scene? Like, as soon as I started making soap.
I have never seen Fight Club.
Oh. Well, the reference is that they're stealing the fat from liposuction. They're stealing the fats from a clinic doing liposuction and making it into soap. And I actually had one plastic surgeon one day. He was doing liposuction yarn. And he's like, "Hey, you want me to give this to you?" It's like, dude, stop it.
That's gross to even joke about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have weird sense of humor. But yeah, it's we talk about dichotomies. You're talking about you're watching Lifetime movies and horror movies, and so I have had my whole like true crime serial killer phase too, and I'm a freaking doctor.
I think that's a female
It's not
thing.
a phase.
I know so many women. Yeah, no, it's not a phase.
I've had periods of time where I was more into it than others, but I've read books about like Harold Schuchter. He's written a whole lot of books on these people and such. So, and yet I have zero desire to actually hurt anybody. I don't know. I think for me it's just the psychology.
Today.
Sometimes on call, but no, it's a surgeon. For me, I think it's the psychology of just understanding what people are capable of.
Oh, people are
and what
crazy.
people are doing out there. Right. And so like I'm not walking around the world naive and thinking everybody is all happy, smiley, whatever.
Yeah, I just find that like true crime is so much more
astonishing
than things that they come up with in regular movies. Right? Like the things that people will actually do to each other.
Well, so okay,
it's
a little bit of trivia for you. Do you know much about Ed Gein, however you say it?
Isn't he the one that Psycho was modeled after?
He is Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What are some of the other ones? Like if you've seen it in a horror movie, he did it. Like he did all of it. He's the basis for most of these movie serial killers.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs. That's right. Yeah, he was.
Yes.
So Hannibal Lecter,
really,
because he was making the skin suit from Silence of the Lambs.
And, so Buffalo Bill is based on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Yeah, I remember they said when they went to his, I remember they said when they went to his house they found like skulls that he was using as utensils and such, like as dishes. So, woo.
Yeah.
Stay away from the people living way out there by themselves.
Hey, now I live way out there by myself.
What you trying to say?
You're married.
So, I have, let's see, ChatGPT gave me a nice new segment called Rapid Fire Mini Segment, where I should do like soapy this or that, where I say like to a kitty, cold process or hot process.
My favorite?
Quick.
My favorite's cold process.
Yep. Loud glitter or moody neutrals?
Moody neutrals. I don't do glitter.
No. I knew Jessie
That seemed like a silly question, honestly, for Kitty.
I know, right? Saponification or superfatting? Which is more fun to say?
Saponification.
I agree with that.
Cryptid roommate or alien coworker?
Definitely cryptid roommate.
Okay. Limited edition bars forever or the same perfect bar every single time?
Oh, that would get boring. Limited edition.
I knew. Mm-hmm. Soaping to music or podcasts?
Both. Can I not have a podcast to music?
Okay. Weird soap shapes or classic loaves?
I do both. I mean, I make anatomically correct heart soaps and regular
Heart
bars.
Soaps, sure.
I thought you were supposed to say something else.
No, I make those too. My Wayne soap is going to have chesticles in it.
As I was about to say, so she's got her serial killer line and then her Anami line. Okay.
Well, so you're probably going to cut
I
this
thought you were
out,
going to
but
say
I'm
her
doing
anatomically correct heart.
I'm doing a hardcore metal/punk concert in June, and I'm making little bags of dicks and tits and of soap. I mean, my travel soap is called Roadhead.
How little.
Woo!
Little.
We started going downhill here.
Yeah.
About nipple size.
Kitty, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You've brought the weird, the warmth, and a whole lot of heart. The Soap Donation Center is such a powerful example of how handmade soap can do more than just cleanse, it can care. To everyone listening, be sure to check the show notes for how you can support the Soap Donation Center, whether that's donating soap, sharing the mission, or making a tax-deductible contribution. Every bar makes a difference. And hey, if you're a small business, a fellow soap maker, or someone who just loves what we're doing here and wants to sponsor an episode of The Dirty Heifers, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at dirtyheifers@gmail.com and let's chat. And don't forget to join us next week, where we're diving deep into pricing, from how you actually calculate your numbers for both retail and wholesale, to the psychology behind why we price the way we do, and what your prices might be saying about your brand. Until then, thanks for listening. Stay weird, be kind, and as always, stay dirty, heifers.